Hello and welcome to Cemetery Mary, a short little mystery visual novel developed by arcadekitten and available on itch.io. And well, apparently a story about a girl who loves visiting the cemetery. Let's see what it's about. Press start. Warning: this game contains themes and depictions of the following: stalking, kidnapping, strong language, mild drugs, alcohol and smoking, blood, murder, suicide, and flashy images and potentially loud noises. Well, sounds like my kind of game. I don't know. All right. I've never been to a funeral that I didn't enjoy. That is, until very recently. And I wasn't quite sure how to feel. It was a beautiful service, and one they certainly deserved, if only it had come later in their lifetime. And maybe it could have been prevented. There wasn't a murderer in my city. That's what everyone's been saying, anyways. The Blackwood Butcher. That's what they call them, at least. It was hard not to overhear the rumors said about them. I heard they struck at night. I heard they only target one person at a time and don't stop until they're dead. I heard it's a ghost blindly seeking revenge. I didn't believe any of that. At least, not at first. But my parents did. And because of that, they didn't like me going off to the cemetery alone, staying until it closed, walking home by myself in the dark. Even though it was only across the street, these rumors had made them afraid for my safety. Do you really believe they're real? I asked my father. I do, he answered. Are you really worried for me? My mother did not say anything, but that is to be expected. They thought I was a perfect target. I guess, of course. Perfect target, like a young girl in any kind of horror movie, is the perfect target, perfect victim. But I still didn't believe it. Still, they were worried about me. So they sent me off to live with my aunt, uncle, and cousin. Sounds like the Prince of, what was that show called? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Anyway, there was trouble in her neighborhood. No. They didn't live far. At least not anymore. They moved from their fancy home in gorgeous Hallen City to a small little cabin in the woods. I never understood why, but I never really asked about it either. A cabin in the woods, eh? That makes it even more likely that you get killed, at least in a horror movie. My parents felt like I would be safer with them. I didn't want to leave, but every day I stayed only seemed to stress them out more. So I went, to make them feel better. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. I barely left the house, barely went to town anymore, and when I did, I was always with someone, taking all precautions to avoid becoming a victim of the butcher. But I still thought it was only a rumor. Even if the number of deaths in our community increased, I never thought that I, or someone I knew, would be a victim. Then, that thing happened. To those two. And for the first time, I was worried. Shortly after that, my own parents disappeared. Mysterious. They weren't in the diner, nor could I contact them. Even the authorities couldn't figure it out. No one had seen them. It was as if they had suddenly vanished, as if they were killed off. I don't like to think about that possibility. Actually, well, there was also that other thing that's happened, apparently. Maybe I should have told the authorities about it. Yeah, maybe you should have called the police for any of this? Or anyone for that matter. But of course not. I'm not gonna do that. But I was too afraid of what might happen if I did. Okay. Unknown number. It said your parents are safe. It kind of flashed there. Is that her parents or we live in a cabin? Is that her uncle? Maybe. Why does that hairstyle remind me of? I don't know. Anyway. Well, after that, kind of longish backstory. I guess we're starting the game proper? I don't know. I knew I would fall asleep if I sat down. Is it raining outside? It wasn't supposed to rain today. The lights are on outside. Is Crovan out there? I better go check. Crovan? Okay. Also, the art style, I mean, it looks alright. It kind of reminds me of... what's that called? Homestuck? I don't know if it's just me. And I don't know much about Homestuck, but all I know about Homestuck is that they all have horns and pale skin and, colorful eyes. So it just kind of reminds me of that. Not that exactly, I guess, but. Also, what's this? Is this her like knee stockings, or is it like doll joints? I can't tell. Anyway, here's a goth kid. We have choices. Oh, I want to say it again, actually. There is multiple endings and multiple routes in this game. Well, I'll just choose what I want to choose first, I guess. The first time. Well, what are you doing out here? It's raining. I can see that it's raining, Mary. It's also smoking. It's bad for your lungs. Shouldn't do it. Okay. Actually, these are choices. These are fake choices. Never mind. Because it seems like it doesn't matter what you choose. You're out here. Where's aunt and uncle? Okay, so that implies that Crovan is our cousin. Quit it, Mary. How many times do I have to tell you? They went to hell. Okay. They just, casually went to hell. Alright. Good. Okay, so that confirms, okay, that picture was definitely Uncle and Aunt in that case. This is our cousin. They apparently went to hell. Sure, why not? Crovan and I finished dinner. Come inside. It's spaghetti. Ooh, delicious. I do love spaghetti. I use your favorite sauce, too. Okay, I'll be inside in a second. You got spaghetti. Just let me put this out. Put it out on my, like, giant ahoge hair. While the food is cold. I know. I fell asleep after I made it. It was just so boring. The spaghetti just made me nod off. I just want to take a seat in the living room, but it's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm not. I read that as if they're complaining. Other than that, we didn't say much, and dinner was quiet. I cleaned up most of it, but Crovan helped a little bit. After that, he went to go sit in the living room. Once I finished cleaning the kitchen up, I joined him like usual. Alright? So far, it's just, this, other than the fact that there's a serial killer walking about called, whatever was it called again? The Butcher, Blackwood Butcher? I can't remember the name now. Some kind of butcher walking around. Everything is quite casual so far. Normally, after dinner, Crovan and I sit here together. We do something fun. Yes. We play a game on our phones together. Play a gacha game? No? Okay. Can you play gacha? I mean, I guess some gacha games. There's multiplayer functions. We get a board game or play cards. Talk about our days as something exciting happened. But that's when Aunt and Uncle were still... Crovan's been in a pretty bad mood since. It's not as if I can blame him. I want to talk to him, but I don't really know if he's much in the mood to talk. I guess, normally he seems to be the goth type. The type of person that probably doesn't like jovial conversation in the first place. I don't know, gotta go to bed. I decided I'd be better off just to go to bed at this point. Goodbye. See ya. If you don't want to talk, he's on his phone. These kids and their phones. When they're on the phone, that's a signal that they don't want to talk to you. That's all I'm saying. After a few moments of awkward sitting, I went upstairs and headed to my bedroom. I didn't want to make Crovan angrier than I had already. I brushed my teeth and got changed in my pajamas. I stretched on what you could consider my bed. The room I have in the cabin is nice. It's not like my room back in my actual home. But I've stayed here so long, I've been able to decorate it a bit more to my liking. It's a pleasant room to stay in, even if it's not quite home. Of course, I don't normally sleep right away. I usually read a book or watch a movie on my laptop or lie awake thinking of every embarrassing thing that's happened in my life. Yes, relatable. But as of recent, I picked up a different nighttime ritual. One that's nowhere near as pleasant. Yes. You decorate, there's a lot of decorations. There's like a skull. How do you get that skull? Did you dig it up from the graves? You are Cemetery Mary. You love visiting cemeteries. Do you do some grave robbing as well? What does that say? I don't know. Some kind of Japanese. Something, no. I don't know. Anyway. The text message I had received the days following my parents' disappearance. It was from a number I didn't recognize. Your parents are safe, it had said. I know I should have done something smart. I should have told someone. But instead, I texted the number back. Yes. And they responded to me. I've noticed that other than the first message, They usually don't reach out to me. It's me who keeps texting them, hoping to find out what's happening behind all this. Are you still awake? Without context, it just seems like she's texting her, like, boyfriend or whatever. I'm awake whenever you want to talk, apparently. Who are you? That I cannot do, okay. My identity must remain hidden. Forever? No, not forever. Then why can't you just tell me who this is? Because it's not safe. Why wouldn't it be safe? You have to trust me on that. Oh, this is when you get the cops. And look at the cops to, like... I mean, I don't know. I know, you always see in the movies how, like, police always track down a number. Whatever, with some kind of technology. I don't even know what they use, but something like that. Can you track down phone numbers through text? I don't know if you can do that. I wonder if you can. I don't trust you at all. How did you even get my number? Your parents gave it to me. Why would they do that? Because they care about you. You must be lying to me. My parents wouldn't do something like that. I'm sorry. You don't know your parents as well as you think you do. What does that mean? Seriously, you freak me out. But yet I'm texting you back anyway. I just want my parents back. Please don't drag this out. I just want them back home. What's the ransom? You kidnapped them apparently? You should get some rest. It's late, isn't it? I'll talk to you tomorrow. I don't like to text for too long, It wears up my fingers. Until then, goodbye. Goodbye. This is not very realistic texting, by the way. At least all the people I've ever texted, when they text back, their spelling and grammar is just horrible, and they always use abbreviations and emojis, so it's not very realistic, is all I gotta say. They suggested that I get some rest, but how do they expect me to do that? I had never felt more restless in my life. Even asleep, I knew I wouldn't rest. In my sleepless dreams, I see that place. No. When I woke up the next morning, Kroven had already left for the day. Where'd he go? But that wasn't a surprise. He'd been staying out late and leaving super early since the incident. I think being home bothers him. I'm not surprised. Whenever I pass the diner, I too feel like not being there. It's not the same without mom and dad after all. Despite this cabin being out in the middle of the woods, it really isn't all that hard to get back to Blackwood. Outside our cabin is a faint dirt trail. It gets a bit twisty in some parts, but isn't too confusing, she says, before probably getting lost later on in the story. It takes about 15 minutes to walk down, but maybe 10 if you're fast. At the end of the trail, there's a fence, one with a slight gap in it, and past that fence, there's a little community. It isn't big. A few trailers with a few people living all the way out here, far from anything that's, well, anything. But there's a road here and a bus that comes through. It runs through Blackwood. So whenever we need to leave, we take the bus. And then after the end of a short trip, you're in Blackwood. Wow. It's the city I grew up in, and I always really loved it. There's a library and a local stores, but my most favorite place is to be at the Blackwood Cemetery. It's got lots of trees to read under and the prettiest headstones I've ever seen. There's a mausoleum too. I guess she just really loves her cemeteries. Though I've never been inside. Private mausoleum, Probably a bunch of zombies. I don't know who it belongs to. Anyways, I always try to leave flowers when I visit, at least every so often. And I visit a lot. I like to think it helps them, not feel lonely, the corpses in the ground as they're being eaten by maggots. And then after spending my day in Blackwood, I come back home the same way I left. But I always make sure no one sees the way I come back home, just in case, You know what you mean? I mean, I guess it's a secret, there's a cabin in the woods. Despite the recent events, I too leave the cabin more than ever now. Kroven is rarely home, and I don't like being here alone. I mean, probably because of the Blackwood Butcher or whatever. I know I'm just being paranoid, but I don't like the thought that maybe the Butcher could find me out here all alone, even if that's the whole reason I'm here in the first place. So I go out a lot now. I feel more comfortable surrounded by lots of people. Despite how things may seem, I always prefer to be around people anyways. Well, that's the complete opposite for me. I don't. I don't like being around people. That's one reason why I like to go to the cemetery so often. Well, I mean, you're around corpses. There's always people there. Wait a minute. Well, I mean, there's always like also just because I'm just thinking of the undead, but not necessarily. A bunch of living people visit there too, I guess, to visit their like the what do you call their loved ones, I guess, who have departed from the world. Even if you can't see them. Oh, never mind. Oh no, wait, she is talking about ghosts. Never mind. Or like dead people. After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed in my favorite outfit. Crovan's gone, and the bus I take out to town should be arriving any minute now. Where should I go today? Do I have a choice? Yeah, I have a choice. Wow. Save. R.I.P. Rest in peace. The library, the cafe, or the cemetery? I mean, we are Cemetery Mary, so we're gonna roleplay as Cemetery Mary. I think we should go to the cemetery. And is it just me or is our uncle transparent? Why is he transparent? What's... Huh? I never noticed that before. Anyway, cemetery. I went to my favorite place, the cemetery. The cemetery is pretty much on the same block as my family's restaurant. Right next to it, in fact. All you have to do is cross the street. It's on the same side of the road. I think my parents chose this location because it's good for business. Is it? That's what Mom told me anyways. People are usually hungry after a funeral. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, that's what I say. Probably there's a bunch of funerals. I mean, not all the time, but, regularly. A lot of people visit the cemetery anyway, right? That's what she means by people surrounding here. But also, I guess she also means dead people. I don't know. Crying really takes a lot out of you after all. I'm gonna grab a glass of water. I was always glad to live there because I really love visiting the cemetery. I like to walk down the rows and see who got flowers that day. That's what I do most days. Sometimes I'll pick my own flowers just to leave on graves that look like they've been forgotten about. I'm actually quite known for the cemetery as infamous. Some people have even begun to use a nickname for me, though I don't know how many of them even know what I look like. Cemetery Mary. When I arrived at the cemetery gates, however, I was surprised to see Crovan standing there with what looked like a new friend. Alright. They have animal ears. Good. Crovan. Mary. Ugh, did you follow me? Ugh. You're my little sister. Ugh. Ugh. So uncool. Huh? No, I didn't. I always come here. Yeah, but that's usually not until later. Why are you here so early? I mean, it's not as if I had anything better to do. Well, you have to be here right now. I'm kind of on a date. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a date? No. I mean, it can be if you want it to be. Awkward. I'll think about it. Smooth. Uh, let's we shouldn't just be dragging him, and we shouldn't be isolating this person and talking about our own troubles. Let's ask, let's invite them to the conversation. Who's your friend? This is Vasilis. I met him at the arcade. Yo, sorry, Mary, but can you please go? I really just don't have the energy for this right now. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I'll see you later, I guess. Later. See you some other life, Mary. What do you mean by that? You gonna kill me? I left Crovan alone. I didn't want to interrupt his little date or whatever. I especially didn't want to make him more mad at me. However, I wasn't going to let him stop me from going in the cemetery. I continued on past the gates and stepped inside. It seemed emptier than usual. It didn't look like any funerals were being held today. I'm surprised. Considering there's a serial killer murdering everybody, you would think there'd be funerals every day. Anyway, would it be mean of me to wish there was? Yeah, it probably would be. Forget I said anything like that. It was a really awful thing to say. And forget what I said too about funerals every day. When nighttime rolled around, I headed back home. I slipped into my pajamas and headed to bed almost immediately. Of course, though, I couldn't sleep right away. I had someone I needed to talk to first. More texting. Good evening again. Good evening. May I ask you something? You always do. How did you know my name is Mary? I've always known. Huh? I've always known what your name was. Hmm. Did my parents tell you? They didn't need to. Okay, that sounds even more creepy. I've always known who you are. How long is always? Always. That's weird. Should really call the police, Mary. I don't know why you're not. I'm uncomfortable. Any updates to my parents? They're fine. Will I ever see them again? Yes. Because I'm coming to get you too. I just need more time. Good night, Mary. Hello, police? Moshi moshi? I went to sleep feeling pretty shaken that night. I tried not to think about it. I'm surprised I was able to get any sleep at all. I'm surprised I didn't have any nightmares either. Uncle Cross? Okay, this is his name, Uncle Cross. Yeah, Mary, he has a cool eye patch. Why is he... I don't know. He looks like an old war veteran in like a movie or something, you know. Or I don't know. Oh, actually, it reminds me of Vlad. Actually, Vlad the Impaler in Fate Go. You know, not the B Shonen one. There's like a B Shonen one that's like, you know, looks like a pretty boy. But there's also the other one that is more aligned with, you know, the fact that he's Vlad the Impaler. He just like stabs people with his spears. Anyway, Uncle Cross, can I ask you a question? Sure thing, kiddo. Okay. Very, very jovial despite his appearance. Shoot. How'd you lose your eye? Well, you see, I accidentally stabbed him because I was called Vlad the Impaler. No, Mary, that's not. It's fine. I don't mind. I lost my eye in the war. Okay, okay, he's a war veteran. You were in a war, Uncle Cross? I was. I won't get into the specifics of it, but it was important to me that I protect my family in any way I could. Do you miss it? My eyeball? Yeah. You know something? Not as much as I thought I would. I think I would miss you a lot more. Okay. After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed into my favorite outfit. Again. Provin's gone, and the bus I take out of town should be arriving any minute now. Where should I go today? Okay, so get the tools again. Library, cafe, or the cemetery? I don't know if it matters, but I could try going somewhere different this time. Sure, let's try the cafe. I decided to go to the new cafe that opened up. Okay, I thought it was the cafe that she mentioned before, you know, the family restaurant, but I guess it's different. This is a different cafe. Planet Dollars is a popular coffee chain, but we've never had one in this town. Well, until now, that is. I've always wanted to go to one just to try, you know? Although, I don't actually like coffee. But still, I could at least see what they had, right? When I got to the cafe, it was already packed. I thought since it had already been around for a few weeks, some of the hype surrounding it would have died down, but I guess not, seeing as how noisy and crowded it was. Still, at least it was something different from usual. As I said, I'm not particularly fond of coffee, and since I had light breakfast anyways, I decided to treat myself with a muffin. A chocolate muffin. Wow. Because sweet foods are the best. I disagree. You know, I have a lot of things I disagree with Mary, personally. I don't like sweet foods as much. Anyway, however, I found myself in a bit of a pinch when I tried to look for some place to sit down. It seems as though everyone's seats were already taken. I really don't want to walk and eat at the same time. Luckily, though, I was able to find an empty seat. Okay. But, you know, there's the Starbucks hipster, obviously, on the laptop. And she has very big eyebrows, I assume. Is that eyebrows? A girl around my age with the most spectacular eyebrows, I guess. It is, I guess. Was diligently working on her laptop with an empty seat across from her. I figure she must be writing an essay for college or something. Wait, how old is Mary, by the way? I don't know how old she is. She's talking about college, and They look to be around the same height. Does that imply that she's like college age as well? Is she going to college? It doesn't seem like she's doing that. She's just hanging around the cabin. But maybe it's because her parents told her to stay there for now and, not do anything else. Anyway, now they're missing. Coffee shops are popular with people in college, or so I hear. Oh, okay, maybe that's just her assuming that. I don't know. Seeing as this was the only seat left, I asked her, "Excuse me, may I sit here?" "No. Get out." She didn't verbally answer me. Rather, she glanced over at me, rolled her eyes, and nodded to the empty chair. I tried to look apologetic as I sat. "Thank you." Okay. For a little tiny muffin. I feel like we're gonna annoy her. I don't know. What are you working on? Sorry, I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen. Sorry, can you shut up for a second? I'm trying to concentrate. Oh, sorry. Stay quiet. When we say quiet, we're not gonna get anything interesting out of this. The whole point of having dialogue of characters is to have some kind of conflict, some kind of exchange of information. Makes the story interesting. If we simply stay quiet, it's gonna be ellipses and that's it. I don't know. You have the most... I'm gonna stay quiet. You told me to shut up. So you're interested in what I'm doing here? Well, yeah, I guess. You seem to be very focused after all. As focused as I can be. What's your name? Me? I'm married. Twyla. How you say that? Twyla? Twyla? I can't say it. Tula? Tira? TWY. That's a weird... I mean, at least, at the very least, it's strange to me. Twyla? Twyla? I'm gonna say like woo Twyla? I'm gonna say Twyla. Twyla, nice to meet you. Anyways, I'm working on a report. A report? Like for school? No. Have you noticed something odd going on in town recently? Something odd? I'm not surprised if you haven't heard about it. It's like the police are trying to dull suspicions. Or just arrest potential suspects so everyone can feel safe. Oh. Oh, are you talking about the killing rumors? The Blackwood Butcher, right? Don't say it so loud. But, yes. How'd you know? Okay, she seems like I don't know, she seems like a conspiracy theorist? Conspiracist? You say it? I don't know what the correct term is for someone who's like very paranoid and is really into conspiracy theories. I've been hearing the rumors for a while now. And actually, my aunt and uncle died pretty recently. Oh, did they? I thought they just went missing. Okay, they died. I thought it was the same thing with her mother and father, that they simply disappeared. But actually, apparently, her aunt and uncle have died. I don't know how she confirmed that. I don't know if she mentioned that. They were, killed. Really? Uh-huh. That's actually pretty... How did they die? Oh, I don't know. No one really told me, but the circumstances were strange. Like, they didn't die naturally. There was definitely someone else involved. At least that's what I've been told. Uh-huh. Interesting. Maybe you can help me with this report. And, some other stuff. But what do you mean? I can? Yeah. If you're okay with that, of course. Yeah, sure, I guess. I mean, having a killer around is bad, so if I can help, like, raise awareness or something... I mean, like... Yes! I'd like to help you. Thanks. This will really put me ahead. I have to go, actually. I'm running late for something. Here, give me your phone number. I'm not entirely sure I'll need your help, but I'd rather have a way to contact you just in case. Yeah, of course. The eyebrows just remind me of an owl for some reason, by the way. I don't know why I think of owls when I think of giant eyebrows, but she reminds me of an owl. Maybe she's an owl person. It seems to be some people have like animal ears, so I guess some people are just animal people? I don't know, anyway. Twyla and I exchanged phone numbers. After she packed up her laptop and was picked up by a car outside. Come to think of it, I didn't actually see her drink any coffee or order any food. Well, that's, you go there, you go to Starbucks for the free Wi-Fi. Is what you do. I guess maybe she finished before I got there. I don't know why she would choose such a noisy place to work, though. Free Wi-Fi. After spending my day looking at some nearby stores, I went home pretty tired. I ate leftovers for dinner, yawned more than once as I got changed into pajamas, and plopped myself onto bed and pulled on my phone ready to continue the nightly conversation. You're there, right? Of course I am. I don't know why I keep contacting you. I guess I'm just afraid if I don't, you'll disappear or something. It's unlikely. I know you won't tell me where my parents are, but can you at least tell me why you took them? No. Why not? I don't know who could be seeing these messages. Okay. Just saying. A lot of choices. Are you worried you're being traced? Possibly. I may even change phones from time to time just to be careful, but you'll know it's me. I don't know if that should be comforting or not. I really don't see how this works. How am I supposed to trust you? Or how am I supposed to trust you aren't someone dangerous if you don't give me any info to go off of? Especially when I haven't even heard from my parents. Goodbye, Mary. Sleep well. Okay. I felt sick that night as I tried to go to sleep. I tossed and turned so many times, and yet I was still too tired to get up and try to do something else. Should really be calling the police. But of course, you know, in any kind of story where you should be calling the police, no one does, because that would be too easy. It's too easy if the police just solved everything for you, I guess. I don't remember when, but eventually I was able to fall asleep. I didn't sleep very well, though. I'm not going back out there. Okay. You you saw how they were looking at me. Mother. Long hair. I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry. I just maybe it's better if I don't anymore. Okay. Mom didn't have much to say there. Just dot 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 dot. After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed into my favorite outfit again. They keep repeating that line. Of course, God should be a boss. Where should I go today? I don't know. Let's go to the library, sure. I decided to go to the library. I feel like my gamer sense is tingling. So you should probably pick the one place to go over and over again instead of rotating. Is what I'm doing. I probably shouldn't do that. I don't know. Because it seems like maybe you get like certain scenes, certain characters, and maybe there's like a certain route that happens when you do that, but anyway. We go to the library anyway. There's nothing quite like a good book. My favorite kind of books are mystery. Not necessarily murder mysteries, but mysteries in general. In fact, I kind of prefer it when mysteries don't involve anyone dying. I'm the opposite. Why? It seems like I disagree with Cemetery Mary. Or, well, the person Mary. A whole lot. I prefer when mysteries involve dying. Otherwise, where's the stakes? Where's the tension? There's a lot less tension there, Yeah, but I want the tension, Mary. Don't you understand? I want there to be conflict, to be drama, to be true, true stakes here. And I don't mean the delicious, meat kind. Anyway, but maybe I'm just too soft. Also, I quite enjoy manga. Oh no, she's a weep. Especially the shoujo kind. I feel almost embarrassed to like them, but I find that they're cute and nice. And I like seeing characters fall in love. Yeah, a shoujo. Maybe that's what I'll try to find in the library today. Can you find manga in the library? I remember in my school library, I had like a few volumes of like Naruto and Bleach or something, but I didn't find a lot of manga in my library anyway. I stepped into the library and began to make my way over to my favorite spot. A tucked away corner in the library right by a single window. I guess the classic, right by a window anime protagonist stereotype. Sometimes I spend an entire day in that corner just reading. I've even managed to finish entire books without leaving the library. Amazing. I look forward to doing something like that again today, but when I got to my favorite spot, I noticed a man was already sitting there. Oh no, he has long Bishonen hair. I was surprised because usually this library was pretty empty. But this man, he's familiar. I've met him before. Oh, my apologies. Did I take your seat? Oh, it's you. Mary. Mary Onto, yes? That's right. I remember you. From the funeral, right? Indeed. Do you remember my name? Reginald? That's right. It's a pleasure to see you here. I was hoping I'd run into you again one day. Oh? Uh, I hope that doesn't come off as weird. You were just a pleasant person to be around. Are you the text? Are you the person texting Mary? Is what I'm wondering. I don't know. You really brought life into that funeral. Oh really? Thank you. I think. So what brings you to the library today? Oh well, I didn't really have plans, so I thought I'd just check out a book or something. Likewise. What kind of book were you interested in checking out? Be honest. Or lie, a mystery novel. I mean, how about a mystery shoujo? You know, how about that? I would actually have I ever read a mystery shoujo? I don't think I don't think there's such a thing. I don't know. There's plenty. Well, there's probably plenty of what's it called? Josei. You know, which is like for like older audiences, I guess. There's probably like a mystery josei, but is there like a mystery shoujo? I don't know if I've ever heard of that. Anyway, be honest. I'm actually here for a shoujo manga. You disgusting weeb, get out. You ruin literature. Now, a shoujo manga. What's that? Shoujo mango. Oh, it's like, do you know what a manga is? Well, you see, it's a black and white comic, and that you read backwards. You know. I have an idea, but I can't say I've ever read one myself. Well, it's like one of those, but it usually centers around the romance between the two main characters. Does it? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the romance genre in particular is just very popular. Not necessarily always the case, though. When I think of shoujo, I always think of maho shoujos, though. You know, I always think of magical girls. So the focus is not necessarily the romance, though it can be there. It's usually around fighting monsters, you know. But anyway, sometimes there's like friends or rivals. But I really like the comedy ones because you get cute jokes mixed into the romance. But sometimes the drama ones are really cute too, and they can get really intense. And sorry, I'm rambling. I'm not good at explaining things. No worries. I think you did a good job. Did she? A shoujo sounds interesting. Perhaps I'll check out one myself later. Well, you didn't also explain shoujo means girl. You know, it means like generally girl, but you know in particular like young girl, and it's a genre that describes its own demographic. You see, you know, the other gender equivalent, I guess, would be shonen. Anyway, I'm trying to be more open to new things after all. Anyways, what are you here to read? Me? I'm reading Manslaughter on the Disorient Locomotive. Oh, I've been meaning to read that one too. Do you want it then? What? Oh no, that's okay. Please take your time. Just, if you wouldn't mind, would you tell me when you're done with it? You know, so I can maybe read it after. I'm fine with that. Though I've already gone pretty far in, I don't think I'll be finished by today. You have a cell phone, yes? We're just getting everyone's number. Would it be alright if I have your number? That way I can notify you as soon as I'm finished. Not for any other particular malicious reasons or anything. And well, I like to try and be friends too, if that's alright. How old are you? Oh, really? And how old is Mary? I don't know yet. I mean, yeah, of course. Reginald and I exchanged phone numbers. I was shocked he even remembered me. But I considered meeting him again a pleasant surprise, and one I really appreciated. I don't know, I'm picking up yandere vibes from him. He starts out like, yes, hello, I am very polite and a nice guy, but also I'm hiding a knife behind my back. I'm totally gonna stab you. Now, after our exchange, I picked out a shoujo book from one of the shelves and began to read in one of the other spots in the library. I ended up liking it so much, I looked for other books and brought two or three home with me to read later. After I came home, had dinner, and cleaned the kitchen up, I began my usual nighttime routine. Got changed pajamas, brush the teeth, sat in bed, text whoever they are. I don't know. Very slight criticism here. Very slight. But do we really need to read that dialogue every single time? You know, I get into my pajamas, I brush my teeth. You know, and also like, and where should I go today? The bus is here or whatever. It's like, I feel like those lines could be left out. It's not really necessary. But anyway, I'm just nitpicking. Hi, it's me again. Are you there? Yes. You're still not going to tell me anything, are you? No. Can I ask you something even if you don't give me an honest answer anyways? Okay. Are you the Blackwood Butcher? Would I tell you if I was? Are you afraid for their safety? Of course. Why wouldn't I be? I see. Why do you have them? I should save before... whatever. I wouldn't put it like that. Cause I'm trying to save before every choice, but I guess, if we have to go through a different route, I guess I'll just start from the beginning. Anyway, I wouldn't put it like that. I don't own them after all. Even if they are in my keeping for now. You're way too vague. Why'd you even contact me to begin with? I thought you'd like to know about your parents. I'm only trying my best to keep you happy. You think I'm happy? Maybe not now, but you will be. I have to go now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Being very cordial. What's the word? Cordial? 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 Just saying goodbye. We're just friends now, I guess. With my parents' kidnapper. After another frustrating, unsettling night of text messages, I got under the covers and tried my best to sleep. It wasn't easy. I had a lot of difficulty trying. I don't remember exactly when, but eventually I was able to sleep, and even if not peacefully. Dad? Okay. I like the little touch, by the way, of the animation. It's very slight. It's only probably like a few frames. But I do like how the CGs, they do have animation to them. Yes, sweetheart. Yes? Is something wrong? Mama told me that Uncle Ray died. Does she now? Are you gonna see him again? Okay, well, she looks younger here. Yeah, she looks younger here, so I thought the aunt and uncle died recently, but apparently they died a long time ago even? I don't know, I'm confused about her uncle and aunt. Anyway, are we gonna see him? No, no. You don't need to worry about that. I don't? But listen, Mary. Normally when someone passes, you hold a funeral for them, right? Yeah? The thing about funerals, though, is that they're for people who are worth remembering. Okay, that's rude. That implies that apparently the uncle and aunt are not worth remembering. Their lives mean so little, apparently. I woke up late the next morning. I've been pretty tired. Grabbed myself out of bed, followed my normal morning routine. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, growing now has to be seen. And there's got a message, though. To my surprise, there were other messages there as well from my new friends. Who should I read first? Cat Girl. Good. Okay, good to choose. I don't know if it matters. Also, exit the phone. Just don't read any messages. Just ignore everybody. Good morning, Miss Mary. Hey, Mary. Mary, it's Twyla. Owl? Crow. Oh, that's what the crow means? His name, also, he's crow. Reginald is also a puffish, I guess. Which, again, kind of implies, I don't know, he's too nice. You know how, like, pufferfish, or is it pufferfish? Pufferfish. Pufferfishes are very poisonous. So, like, I don't know. Anyway, go back. Play fake go. No, find Twyla. Mary, it's Twyla. If you're still interested in helping me, I'll be at the library around noon today. It should be quieter there, and there's some books I want to pick up for research purposes. Meet me there if you can, but if not, I'll just call you up another time. Okay. Crovan. Hey Mary, I'm sorry. I know I've been acting pretty nasty to you lately. I hope you know I don't mean it. Have you been to the Planet Dollars yet? I'll be heading there for lunch today, maybe at 12:30. You should come and have lunch with me, my treat. And then I can, like, formally apologize or whatever. Nah. No. Reginald. Good morning, Miss Mary Anta. I hope you're doing well today. You had asked about that book the other day, right? Well, I actually finished it quicker than I expected to. I'd really love to give it to you, but I won't be at the library today. I'm actually going to be at the cemetery. You like that place though, right? You should come see me, then I can pass the book over to you. I'll be there a quarter afternoon or so. Then maybe after we could grab lunch or something together. I hope that doesn't come off weird. I just like some company for my lunch break. Reginald is just totally, trying to make us date him. Call me back. It's totally a date. Well, I don't know. Depending on how long this game is, I'll probably do all the routes anyway. Because it seems like, okay, so if I had to guess, because my gamer intuition is acting up, I could probably tell that the 3 routes are probably with Twyla, Croven, and Reginald. In a way, I guess it's well, I don't know exactly. It's a romance visual novel. There wasn't a romance tag on it, as far as I know. I think, but it seems like each character seems to be like an important person that you can follow, and then learn their stories probably. I don't know. I'm actually more interested in Twyla. Not only because she's a girl, and Yuri is pure love, but also she's probably the one that has the most connection to the whole Blackwood killer thing, so I want to learn more about that, I want to learn more about the main mystery or whatever. Anyway, however, I think I'll have more time to meet up with one of them today, yeah. Only one person. Where should I go today? Well, let's go library. It was a tough choice, but I had to choose one of them. I told the others I had plans, and that I have to meet with them some other time. Then when noon rolled around, I headed to my destination. When I got to the library to meet with Twyla, it was already a little past noon. I had texted her on the way there, but I still worried she might already be gone by the time I got there. I don't know why. She said she'd be there for research after all. And surely that takes a while. At least I'm pretty sure it would. When I got to the library, I was able to find Twyla, who is coincidentally my favorite spot of the library. Twyla? Oh, you made it. Sorry, I just got really invested in this book while waiting for you. Now, what book is it? Celsius 232.77. How you read that? Celsius 232.7777 repeating, I guess. Sorry, let me just finish this last paragraph and then we can start. I waited patiently for Twyla to finish, and once she did, I watched her place the book onto the wrong spot on the bookshelf and turn to face me. That's the wrong spot. What are you doing? So, are you ready? I mean, yeah, I guess. What exactly are we doing here, though? Your reports on the... Remembering what she told me, I whispered the next parts. It's about the butcher, right? Yes, that's why we're here. This library's got some good books on the history of Blackwood. You don't understand why that's important, do you? Should I? Anyways, we're here to look up stuff about other serial killers in Blackwood itself. Other killers? Yeah. Before I do much else, I want to make sure there isn't some sort of copycat killer. A copycat killer? What's that? Do I have to explain everything to you? Didn't you? I thought you liked mystery novels. I mean, me, Twyla, wouldn't know that. But, breaking the fourth wall here, I thought you were, I thought you read a lot of mystery novels. Or whatever. You would know this. Come on. Oh no, sorry. A copycat crime is a crime that mimics another. A copycat killer is a killer who bases their murders on previous murders. It could be that they were inspired by a killer to commit the same crimes in a similar fashion. And they could even be doing it as an homage to those who inspired them. Okay, I think I get it now. So we're gonna research similar crimes and potential killings that have happened in Blackwood area in the past, or in the Blackwood area in the past. Our library's got plenty of books on the subjects, and seemingly more useful stuff than the garbage I find online. Really? I guess so. The internet definitely has more information overall, but a lot of that probably is just rumors and like sensationalism and just like fake articles, I guess. Not really fake, but like clickbait rather. Clickbait articles that sound like they have important information, but really they just they have this one line that seems controversial, and then the rest of the article is a bunch of random nonsense that doesn't really relate to the actual title of the article. Anyway, based on the statistics I've collected for the recent mysterious deaths, I'm going to research these other killers and see if their method of murder or victims are similar to what's been happening here. Well, that makes sense. I'm hoping that if it's a copycat, it'll be easier to seek out and catch the real killer. I'm going to go look for books about Blackwood itself. You should go look in the true crime section and pick out any books that have to do with the serial killings. Report whatever you find back to me, got it? Good. Twyla, wait! Twyla walked off into the library, leaving me to look for the books. Except she didn't tell me about any of the statistics she's found, so I have no idea what I was supposed to be looking for. Okay. CG. I tried just getting any books that mentioned killers in them. I wasn't sure if it mattered how old they were, or if the killer itself was ever even caught. Eventually, Twyla had sat down with a few books and began flipping through them. I kinda just kept bringing her new books and putting away books she asked me to. We ended up spending a long time there. I started getting tired, and she didn't want to admit it, but I could see Twyla was starting to get tired too. After a while, we decided to just call it a day. Okay. So, did you find anything useful? For the most part, not really. But there are a few books I'm gonna check out and bring home with me for further research. Well, that's good, I think. It's better than nothing. Hey, thanks for helping me. It probably would have taken me longer to find stuff without your help. Oh yeah, of course, no problem. Hey, can I ask you something? Hmm? It's nothing really that important, but why'd you choose this spot in the library? I'm sure that sounds weird, but I'd love to know. You want to know that of all things? Well, I mean, I've been coming to this library for a really long time. I've never seen anyone in this corner except for me. I just thought it'd be more private and quiet. Is this really an uncommon place to sit? Well, I mean, other than you, I've only seen one other person sit here. I saw him here the other day, actually. Who's that? Oh, he's just an acquaintance of mine I recently met again. His name is Reginald, and I... Wait. Hold up. Reginald Tetra? Oh, I mean, I don't know his last name, but... Long caramel hair, rectangular glasses, kinda has an accent if you listen carefully. Does he? I don't know. I don't know what kind of accent you would give him. I have no idea. Oh yeah, that's him. Do you know him? Mary, you can't talk to Reginald. Huh? Why not? He's a suspect. He is? Everyone's a suspect, of course, including you. But I really don't trust that guy. Why? Something's just off about him. He just exudes yandere aura. I used to spend a lot of time here. I used to spend a lot of time here. I even worked here for a time. And Reginald was always up to something, trying to hide the books he was reading. I never saw him check anything out. You watched him that closely? I watched him because he was weird. He always hid the covers of the books he read, rearranged the shelves when he was done so he couldn't see what he was reading. And when I would confront him about it, he'd just smile and act as if he wasn't reading at all. I mean, just because someone seems weird doesn't mean you should. But I saw what he was reading, despite his attempts to hide it. And it's not good. I can't trust a suspicious guy like that, and neither should you. What was he reading? What was he reading that was so dangerous? I guess I'll listen to your advice. It's ironic though. I've noticed that apparently Twila said like she worked there and everything, but she was the one that put the book in the wrong place before, right? When she was reading that book called Celsius or whatever. I don't know, anyway. Well, he was pretty nice when I met him, but if you really think that he's that bad, I'll try to limit time spent around him, I guess. Good. You should. But don't let your guard down around everyone else either. Anyone could be a killer, not just him. But keeping your space is a good idea. Well, thanks for warning me, I guess. Hmm. And after that, Twilla and I said our goodbyes, and I don't know what did after. I thought about what she'd said to me all day. Reginald's behavior seemed strange from the way she described it, but he has to have his reasons, right? And it's a bit extreme to accuse him of something so cruel. I took the bus home like usual and did all the normal nighttime things. Eating, washing up, blah blah, then it was back to my least favorite part of the day. Hi. You could just ignore these texts, but I guess you can because, her parents are gone, so she wants to figure out why and everything. I don't know. Hello. Can we talk about the thing you said the other night? I haven't been able to stop thinking about it ever since you said it. What's bothering you? You said that you were coming for me, that you just needed more time. Are you really gonna steal me too? It'll be alright. I promise. This is when you call the police. Come on, Mary. It's for the best. You're gonna make me feel sick all over again. What do you want me to tell you? I mean, if I say that I'll get to see my parents again, he'll probably say, yeah, you will get to see your parents again after I kidnap you and then cut you into little pieces. Who you really are. How about that? You probably won't say that either, though. This mystery person. Is that really what you want? You'll see me soon, but you shouldn't worry about that. It will happen when it happens. This is for the best. Even if you can't see that right now. Even if you can't ever. When will this be over? Soon, hopefully. I just need more time. You'll hang on for me, won't you? Do I have a choice? Even you do, Mary. It's called the police. No. Sweet dreams, Mary. She'll never call the police. No matter what I say, she'll never do it. I didn't sleep at all that night. I really didn't. There were a few times I shut my eyes and tried to, but nothing could calm me down anymore at this point. My anxiety was through the roof. And again, how old is she? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell the art style. So I don't know if she's already an adult, but if she is a minor, that's like double, double the reason why she would need to call the police. If she's a minor, even. I don't know. I just want mom and dad back. I want to know for certain that they were okay. It should have been me that was taken. Maybe it was supposed to be. The next morning when I got up, Croven was still home. He seemed to be acting pretty normal for once. At the very least, not agitated. But despite this, I didn't sit and have breakfast with him. I wasn't in the mood to really talk to anyone, not right now. Not after last night. It was too much. I just wanted some private time to myself. I just wanted to cool down. As I was about to leave, Crow called out to me. Okay, Crow? Croven? I was calling him Crow. Not even eating breakfast, Mars? Oh, now it's just have nicknames now? I responded. Uh, does it matter? Not today. I'm not hungry. He responded with a simple okay, and after that I was out the door. I just wanted to go to that place and not be bothered. On the bus ride there, all three of them texted me again. These people are so clingy. Croven said he noticed I left pretty quickly and hoped I wasn't upset with him for his behavior lately. Twyla talked about some of her progress on her research, and Reginald said he'd be at the cemetery again today. Although I appreciate their messages, I really just need to be alone. I needed to go back there and just relax. Oh, no, that's not the right word. I wasn't going there to relax, I was going there to mourn. Okay? The Dime Red. It's where I grew up. I lived my whole life in this diner, restaurant, bistro. I never know the right word for places like this. We always had such silly names for it, since it was next to the cemetery. The restaurant in peace. Sometimes the diner. Funny puns. Even just simply dine dead. Hee hee. I always wondered if others caught on. You probably wouldn't know just from looking at it, but there's 2 floors. 2 floors in the restaurant? I don't think I've ever heard of that. It must be a very fancy restaurant, even though there's 2 floors. The bottom floor is the diner itself. I've eaten there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes all on the same day. Well, when I think about it, though, no, actually, I mean, restaurants technically have 2 floors if people are living in it, you know? So there's a floor on the bottom for a business, and maybe at the top, there's just simply where people live, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes on the same day, the top floor is more like a house. Our house. Yeah, okay. That's what she was getting at. I thought there was like 2 floors literally for the entire restaurant. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Usually when I think of restaurants, they're usually pretty wide, right? They're not really tall, but I don't know anyway. There's bedrooms in the bathroom and even a small living space with a TV. It can be a little cramped sometimes, but it's cozy. No one could get up there but me and my parents, of course. The upstairs is locked. You need a key, which I have, of course. After Dad and Mom went missing, the authorities locked this place up, and it's been locked ever since. They don't want anyone going in there, not even me. Because, I don't know, it's kind of like a crime scene or something. But I still have the key for the front, too. It's my house, after all. I carefully scanned the area around me as I stood in the parking lot. There were a few cars that passed by, and maybe a person or two on the sidewalk, but no one really seemed to pay me any mind. It was still a bit early in the morning, so I wasn't surprised to see so few people out. I looked over my shoulders a few more times to make sure no one was watching me, then I stepped on to the front door, unlocked it, and took a step inside, closing the doors carefully behind me. When I stepped inside, I was instantly hit with a wave of all different kinds of emotions. I'd been avoiding the diner for a long time, because whenever I passed it, I would just think of Mom and Dad and feel sad. But now stepping inside, it felt nice. At least a little bit. Just being able to be in my own house after so long, it was bittersweet. On one hand, I felt so happy to just be home. Everything was just as I had left it. Probably very dusty. The light still entered in through the windows the same way I always did. It still smelled faintly of delicious food, even though the kitchen hasn't been used in a while. Even Mom's special board was on the same spot. But it felt so empty, so desolate, so abandoned. There wasn't even any electricity here. This place was hardly ever empty. We always had customers and the diner always did well. There was hardly a moment where I come downstairs and only see Mom or Dad. There's always people, even if it was just one person. The counter will be full of coffee drinkers at night and in the mornings. I see families come by for dinner or people out on dates come here. I always love being able to see that. There were so many good memories in this place. Like 13th birthday, the married couple. At that time we had a Halloween party. I don't know. Sure, Halloween party. It was more like a trunk or treat kind of thing. Trunk? Trunk or treat? I never heard of that phrase. What do you mean trunk? We had a bunch of cars. Oh, okay, cars. Cars lined up in a parking lot giving out candy. And there were a few games to play. I remember Mom helping me put together a little Grim Reaper costume. It was a rare instance where I actually got along with the other kids, and even was able to see them considering I was homeschooled. Okay, so that confirms it. She's homeschooled. I remember Croven being there too. He was dressed like a zombie, though his makeup got completely ruined when he tried to go bobbing for apples. Bobbing for apples. That's so gross. Who even came up with that? I don't think I could even imagine doing it today. But it seemed fun as a kid, I guess. Even though I never did so. I probably thought it was gross back then too, I guess. I remember Croven got to sleep over afterwards too. And Mom and Dad kept the Halloween decorations up all day the next day. It's funny. I use some of those decorations in my room now. But I remember all the booths and tables and windows being absolutely covered in orange and black streamers. But now it is covered in dust. Someone's gotta clean it up. And no one's here. Where should I go? I don't know if there's any point going to Mom and Dad's room. Or my room, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's go to my room. I decided to head up to my room. My real room. I guess, anime figurine. My Little Pony, but like, it's like goth. No picture there. Doll. Anyway, a very elaborate bedroom. Not bedroom, but elaborate bed. rather. Very fancy. Why is I don't know, I guess the diner was just very successful. He could afford to buy this very fancy bed, apparently. As I stepped inside, I felt strangely happy. I missed my old room and all my stuff. I felt so nice to be back, even if I wasn't staying. Just a sense of familiarity made me feel so calm. I wish I was able to take some of this stuff back home with me, but I didn't have anything to carry it in. When was the last time I was even in this room? It's probably, I mean, you have hands, Mary. You know, even if you don't have a bag, you could at least bring something. I don't know. Why is this book called Blackout Hospital? Why is it just there? I guess maybe it's just a mystery novel. I thought it was like some kind of textbook about the literal hospital. I was wondering why she would have that in the first place. That's weird. Unless maybe she was I don't know, self-teaching herself, I guess, about hospitals. Anyway, I sat on my bed. It was just as comfy as I remembered it. And what is this, by the way? I don't know. Is this like, it's probably the developer's own picture? It looks interesting. This looks like a game of its own or something, you know? I imagine some kind of fancy RPG or something. I don't know. The bed in the cabin was nice, but it just couldn't compare to my super, bourgeoisie bed right here. I miss having a canopy above me. I've had this bed ever since I was a little girl. It's so fancy. I remember Dad taking me into this bed and reading me bedtime stories when I was too fussy to sleep right away. It didn't take long for me to start crying. I miss my bed, I miss my house, and I miss my parents. I remember my mom wishing me a good night one day, and then disappearing the very next. I hadn't heard from them ever since. They could be dead right now and I wouldn't even know. I didn't want to think about that, but could I really ignore the possibility if it meant... I just hated the situation I was in. Every little thing about it. I wanted to scream, but what good would that do? I felt helpless. All I could do was sit, cry, and wait for it to be over. I ended up falling asleep in my old bed. I was already exhausted from my lack of sleep, and crying certainly didn't help in that respect. When I woke up, I was unaware of how much time had passed. But I felt groggy, and I didn't think I should stay any longer. It'll probably just make me feel worse. I got up from the bed and began to head back downstairs. It wasn't until I got to the bottom of the stairs that I noticed someone was here. Uh-oh.